I'm Dan Mwangye, clinical psychologist, Uganda. I want to share with you about frustration, causes, and management. By the way of beginning, I usually begin with like an introduction. Everyone feels frustrated now and then, and this one always is a normal happening. Frustration could come from someone's action or our reaction toward the situation. In most cases, that feeling is short-lived and is part of a normal temporary feeling that we go through day on, day out. However, it becomes a concern when it begins to threaten our physical and psychological well-being of a person. Then after that, when I ask myself, and also I need to ask ourselves, what is frustration? Frustration refers to the feeling of anger or annoyance not directed to a person, but it is always directed to an unpleasant situation. For example, when you feel your motivations are blocked, when you feel your efforts at place of work are not recognized, you have invested a lot and you are not yielding. Maybe you have worked and you expected a promotion at the end of the year. It's not coming. Even maybe you expected salary increment, it's not coming. You feel like you are annoyed within yourself, and that is what we call frustration. Frustration, it goes hand in hand with stress. Frustration, when you get frustrated, at times when it persists, you start feeling you cannot go on, and it can result into stress. And when we look at, after knowing that frustration can lead to stress, we know the long adverse effects of stress on a person's physical and psychological well-being. An individual experiencing and when it happens, then it gives us a reason to worry about frustration. There is no clear sign that we can tell to the audience and to the people that this is how frustrated people react, because we know we react to frustration, or we usually react to situations differently. Frustration, I want to briefly talk about the effects of frustration, what I may term as frustration and its effects. I have said the stressor, the level of frustration vary according to the individual, but some common stressors or frustration that can happen if not well managed, the effects it can produce to our body includes loss of confidence. It can also lead to stress, as I earlier mentioned. It can lead to poor self-esteem. You can imagine a person who has been working. Usually when we work and we don't get recognized, you feel frustrated, and in the end, your self-esteem, you start losing your self-esteem. You cannot talk, you lose, you don't feel okay, because you feel like your efforts have not been recognized. Then it leads to anger, it leads to aggressive behavior. You may wonder why you meet people at places of work and they are very aggressive, even when they are responding to you or when they are attending to you. Some of them, they are going through some of the psychological issues. It leads to irritability. Somebody gets annoyed very quickly. Then when it persists, it leads to depression and its associated effects. When that is very, very dangerous. Then after looking at that one, we look at types of frustration. The frustration They have there are only two types, which they categorize them as internal frustration and external. When we talk of internal, that means you are frustrated by yourself or for your action. You can, that one means you are not happy with the way you reacted to a situation. You see how we react on social media, how we conduct ourselves. We may feel frustrated and you ask yourself, am I the one who acted? Am I the one who reacted to this one? Even when it comes to traffic jam, there are people who are always behind, they are hooting. Then that is how you can feel annoyed by yourself. The external one, the stress or the thing that is causing you to feel annoyed, to feel frustrated, comes from outside. This can mean things like wasting time in unplanned things like traffic jams, meetings, fellowship parties, or barrier that's anything that barrier becomes a barrier to achieve how your day you planned. Even I think you can get frustrated because of the time you spend on social media. You go on social media, by the end of the day you find you have not achieved, you feel frustrated. Don't know whether that one is external, but it can be a source of frustration. Some of the common causes of frustration includes, there are very many, but I will try to highlight some. Unexpected turn of events, like I earlier mentioned, there is when we invest extra time in jobs, in praise, in whatever, then things don't turn up the way we expect, be it in a relationship, be it at place of work, wherever. Then you feel frustrated, like even when you have invested a lot in your child and the results turn up, they are not pleasing. You feel frustrated, you feel annoyed. Then the outstanding one, struggling finances, you have money, you work all the day, but you cannot buy and you cannot achieve what you want to do financially. Unresolved conflicts, that one, when you have an unresolved conflict, you feel frustrated. To those whom you have conflict with or within yourself. Also, an unhappy relationship can also cause frustrations. Unhealthy work standards, when you work and the standards are not known, or work-related problems, you feel frustrated. You don't know what is expected at a place of work. You don't know what you should do to be promoted, what you should do to be appraised or to be praised. Then we have daily hassles. We have interpersonal conflicts within ourselves. Some people are not happy about how they look. You wake up, you check in your mirror, and the way you look, you feel frustrated, you feel disappointed about your face, your looks, even some part of your facial appearance. Maybe you are not happy about your nose, your eyes, and etc. Those are interpersonal. Those are personal conflicts. Then interpersonal, those are conflicts which you have with other people. Then also, unfulfilled sexual desires can lead to frustration. Mental disorders such as depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, among others, can cause frustration. What are the signs and symptoms to show that somebody is frustrated? Frustration can manifest in itself in many different ways, and there are numerous ways ways to spot somebody who is frustrated. People who are frustrated usually become irritable and stressed. Some of the typical responses of frustration are or may include losing your temper. You can quickly On tantrums, you lose your temper quickly, you get overwhelmed and giving up on tasks. You feel anxious and sad, lack of self-confidence, trouble in sleeping, people cannot easily sleep, turning on drugs. Somebody who has not been on drugs, they turn on drugs to sleep or to do the job. Then they start doing body abuse, which includes starving one's self or irregular eating habits. And I think this one has become a common trend of late because people miss food, miss supper, miss lunch, they are punishing their bodies. Maybe because of the reasons best known to them. Then excessive frustration can lead to nightmares. Nightmare, that means people sleep, and when they sleep, they get scary dreams, they dream talking. Then also excessive aggression. How to deal with frustration? Usually, the beginning point, the beginning point is to understand the root cause of the problem. And when you know the root cause of the problem, then you can take a step to start dealing with that problem. After that one, then number one, you talk to somebody you trust about your feelings. This one, when you talk about your feelings to somebody you trust, somehow the burden is released from your head and you feel maybe there is a step towards the solution, as there is the saying that the problem, a problem shared is a problem half solved. Then also you can practice some relaxing exercises. You can do deep breathing, you can do progressive muscle relaxation, you can do yoga exercise. All those will help to calm down your anxiety levels, to calm down the brain. Then also, when you feel that feeling of annoyance is coming, you find ways to distract yourself so that you don't get focused and disturbed by that feeling. Then you change your attitude, especially if you have been a perfectionist, or the way you have been seeing things. By changing your attitude, then it means that you will not get annoyed. Maybe at the end of the year, you have not been appraised, you have not been rewarded. Maybe as the best employee of the year, you have not been recognized. But when you change your attitude, you know who you are, why you work, and what it will concern you less. Then also you change your lifestyle. Some of our lifestyles may be the causes of frustration. You can change the lifestyle, you go to exercising, you get out of the office, in the rooms where you are locked. Then also it can help you. You can use mindfulness to focus on the moment without judgment. Mindfulness is one of the best exercises that can help to deal with some of the mental psychological issues. Then you start writing in a journal. In writing the journal, when you are writing the journal, keeping the journal, it means that your feelings, you are no longer concerned with your feelings, you are concerned with what is taking place and what you are writing. Then also you find an alternative way to accomplish your goal, or you restructure your plan. If your goal may be in the year, I usually see people say by the end of this year I will be married, and at the end of the year they are still single. You can look for the ways of restructuring your goals or accomplishing. Plus other goals, maybe those who are in academia, we usually plan big and aim high and things don't turn up. When you change, you may not get frustrated. Then also you recognize what you can change and what you cannot. Accepting the situation can relieve frustrating feelings. When you write, you cannot control the things which you cannot control, be it on a jam, be it at a place of work. Then it can help you not to have this feeling of frustration. Work on you. Then you can go exercise.